What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and I just finished up watching Nonito Donaire versus Reymart Gaballo, and this was a 12-rounder for the WBC Bantamweight World Championship, and this fight was Saturday, December 11th, from the Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California, and this fight was broadcasted on Showtime, and in this fight, Nonito Donaire was able to get a vicious body shot knockout victory over Reymart Gaballo in the fourth round. Leading up to the stoppage, the bout scored 30-27 in favor of Nonito Donaire, but the bout could have easily been 29-28 in favor of Donaire, something like that, because there was a very close round, and that was the second round where Donaire was actually hit with some nice left hooks and right hooks from Gaballo, but he did bounce back later on, and that's why I gave him that round, because he was able to land some nice right hands whilst Gaballo was on the ropes. But for round one, I thought it was more of a feel-out round. I just edged it to Donaire because he was able to walk down Gaballo a bit, and he just looked like the dictator of the pace. And that third round was also an iffy round, but I thought it was more like 60-40, 65-35 in favor of Nonito Donaire. I thought he landed some nice shots. Was backing up Gaballo like he did in the first round, and he really just dictated the pace. Very similar points to the first round. But then in the fourth round, in the midst of it, Gaballo was trying to throw a hook to the head, and then while he was trying to throw it, Nonito Donaire landed a beautiful left hook to the body. It was a liver shot, dropping Gaballo for the first time in his career. Gaballo went down on his hands and knees, sat there at 8, got up, and then went right back down. He knew he couldn't continue with that. It was literally in the dying embers of the round. So even if he would have stayed up, he probably would have survived to the bell. But, I'm assuming he was just in so much pain that he knew he wouldn't even have recovered in that minute break. Maybe he could have stood up and stayed up, but, I don't know how hard it really feels when Donaire hits you to the body. I could assume it's one of the worst feelings ever. Gaballo, he stood up and went straight back down. It was just in one instant, he knew that he just didn't want to take any more of those shots. And it was that left hook. Once again, Donaire has shown that his left hook is vicious throughout his whole career, knocking out Victor Chinian, now knocking out, years later, Reymart Gaballo at age 39. Just what a performance by Nonito Donaire. And what is next for him? I would love to see him fight Naoya Inoue in a rematch, assuming that Inoue gets past his opponent this Tuesday, which, his opponent's some guy with a record of 12-2 who's ranked top 50, so I'm assuming Inoue should dismantle him pretty quickly. But, I would love to see Donaire fight Inoue in a rematch, or I would like to see Donaire fight a John Casemiro, although Casemiro and Donaire tried to fight and Donaire pulled out for whatever reason. I forgot the exact reason was, but many people were not really happy with it. And then, and John Casemiro just actually pulled out of a fight today against Paul Butler that was supposed to happen due to an injury, and they're saying he could get stripped and whatever. There's just a lot of controversy around that. So I think I would just like to see him fight Inoue in a rematch, something like that. That'd be an excellent fight. But for Reymart Gaballo losing his interim title here, technically, losing for the first time in his career, especially by knockout. And the sad thing is, Donaire was his idol, and he's 14 years younger, so he was growing up watching Nonito Donaire. So, it was just, he performed well in the second round, as I mentioned before, and he was holding his own, and I was really thinking, wow, he's holding his own, he's doing not that bad, but then one left hook landed, and it changed the whole trajectory of the fight. So I would still like to see Gaballo against someone in the top 15, top 10 in the weight class. Maybe even a rematch with Emmanuel Rodriguez to settle the beef and see who really won that fight, even though I really think that Rodriguez outboxed him simply. But I would like to see him fight a decent fighter, and I still think he's a decent fighter, and he's definitely growing, and he's still young. So I'd like to see him fight someone in the top 15, top 10 in the bantamweight division. So overall, Nonito Donaire defeats Reymart Gaballo, getting a brutal fourth-round liver shot knockout victory to successfully defend his WBC bantamweight world title. And that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.